What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Night Studios, joined by Infinity Gamer, or Caden Redpearl.
What's up?
So today we're doing something a little different. We're starting a new series, a temporary new series, but I don't know how temporary it's going to be, because we may do more than one of these. But the devs, Keen Software House for Space Engineers, have basically been... I was unaware of this. I only found out about this when they did an update video. But they basically said that when exploration mode comes out, they were going to take submissions from people that had the exploration tag set on builds and blueprints that they had done for ships. So, I contacted Caden and was like, dude, we need to go build something and get this in the game. And we agreed, so that's what we're doing here. It's kind of going to be more closer to when I first started playing Space Engineers, and we did more of like a let's build kind of style. It is important to note we are building in bulk, or recording in bulk, I should say. So the first like 3 or 4 episodes, something like that, if you comment on them and suggest things or things like that, we may not notice it for a while because we may not be recording until after a few more episodes go by, kind of thing, something like that. So alright, so there's a few criteria things for anyone else that's interested. I got the basics. If you want to know more, you can always check out the forums and the update videos and things like that, where they list the specifics. But the main ones, and Caden, pay attention to this because we'll need to keep this in mind as we build. The first one is unified visual style. So colors and shapes of ships and stations, etc., should represent that a faction built them. Okay. So, like, if it's going to be a construction faction that all they do is build stuff, you could, like, paint things yellow and black or whatever and give them boxy designs. But if it's some... You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Second is there has to be a purpose of the design, so that when you switch over to survival mode, everything in the ship, station, whatever, does something and benefits a player if they found the ship, or not necessarily benefits if it's like a, you know, a hostile ship or something, but, you know, the guns have to work and, you know, function in survival mode, and, you know, don't just have random things that are sitting there and you're like, what's this for, you know?
Right.
They weren't real specific on this, but I do think that they're not talking about, like, if you built a big carrier ship having, like, crew quarters or something that you can't actually use. I think they were just meaning the ship in general, make it like a driller or a combat, or, you know, make it to where there's a benefit for them finding the ship kind of thing.
Right, it has to be practical.
Right, it has to do something and serve a purpose, but it's not talking about, like, every single block has to serve a purpose. Alright, so down to triangles, I'm going to show, and you can follow along because you haven't really played this too much. So by default, you can hit the K key, and it brings up your terminal screen. Actually, here, let me do, because I haven't actually paid too much attention to this, so let me drop a cockpit down real quick. And... okay, so once you're in a ship like this, and I believe it's by default T, I don't think I changed anything like that, but you'll point at the screen, and you'll get this little yellow overlay, and then when you hit T, it'll like let you get into the ship, or the cockpit. Yep. Alright, so now hit K, and open up your terminal menu. When you tab over to Info, all the way on the bottom left over here, there's a indicator for triangles.
8,844.
Right. So that means what we have right here is 8,000 triangles.
Wow, that's... okay.
Scary, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking. So the criteria now for... that's how you'll find out for anybody else that's wanting to make their own builds and submit them, is the criteria is small ships have to be under 80,000 triangles. Large ships have to be under 350, and stations have to be 500, or under 500. And they said that for performance and all that kind of stuff, so that, you know, people with not so great computers can, get a random cargo ship to go by in the exploration mode, and it won't just destroy their computer all of a sudden. So that's kind of the criteria that we have to work with. So to start off, we're thinking of building a driller?
Yeah.
A drilling ship? A mining ship?
To warm up.
To warm up. So, and for those of you that are used to my channel, this is kind of going to be a little bit of a crash course for Caden, too. So,
because I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah, because he hasn't really played too much of this, not, you know, like I do on mine, where I'm on, like, what am I on, like 120 episodes of my second season or something. So, so basically every ship has to have power, thrusters, gyroscopes if they're going to do anything, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's two types of power now. There's this one that's a reactor, and for a reactor you would have to either connect it to a cargo tubing conveyor system, or you'd have to go over and like access it by hitting K. And you can do whatever you want. I changed mine to R because it's much closer to your WASD for accessing terminals and stuff. But you'd have to go in and put uranium ingots in here to keep it powered. And that's another thing they said to do, was when you were done with your build, before you submitted it, make sure all of the reactors had uranium, any cargo, if they were like mining ships, had ore, you know, things for the players to find as it randomly spit out these designs, kind of thing. So the reactors require uranium ingots, so you would have to keep those, kind of like any kind of engine, you'd have to keep it supplied with gas. Then you have, I think I grabbed one, you have these, which are a battery. And the batteries don't really do anything by themselves, but if you connect it, you can actually recharge them with a reactor if you wanted to save power.
Oh, nice.
So like you could leave the reactor on, but instead of just burning through fuel, you could have it being stored in a battery, or you can place down a handy dandy solar panel. And the solar panels are expensive for starting off when you're just starting to play, but they would basically charge this indefinitely as long as you weren't using more than you're producing. And this little light thing on the side here, that indicates how good of a connection to the sun it has. So it's 3 out of 4. So if we tilted this a little bit more with like a rotor, you could get 4 of 4, and then it would give you more power. So that's your two main power sources, is solar panels, batteries, and, well, batteries, yeah. Solar panels and uranium are your fuel, batteries and reactors are your power source.
Gotcha.
Type of thing. Gravity is not available on a small ship, keep that in mind. Not that it won't be, like, affected, I mean, like, you couldn't put a gravity generator on a small ship. If it flies into a gravity field, then it will be affected. So, if you want to build a ship, you can hit G, and that's your basically your parts menu. And they've updated this a lot. There's a search bar now if you're looking for specific things. There's section or groups on the side, blah blah blah. But the new small ship, new large ship, and new station are kind of what you want. And so we're gonna click new small ship, and it'll give me a landing gear here to place. Now, actually, hold on. Let me build this out a little bit. Oh, and when you're building like this with just blocks over here, like just placing blocks,
right?
If you hold control, you can get a line.
Oh, nice.
And then if you hold shift, or wait, is it? Yeah. No, control and shift, then you can make a panel.
Oh, speed things up.
Yeah. So that's a creative thing that you can't really... Well, I think you can do it in survival, but you have to have all the parts and stuff, so... Alright. So I placed a new small ship here. This will be disconnected from this platform. So when we check the triangles and everything, it won't connect it. Okay. And the green on the landing gear means it's locked. So like if you bump it or whatever, it's not going anywhere. If they're yellow, it means they're in proximity but not locked, and if they're no color and they're just black, then they're not in range to lock. So,
okay.
But with it locked, now you can actually build on this and you know, make your platform or do whatever. So, what are we thinking for a drill ship? We're gonna need... You're gonna need a thruster in each direction, at least one gyroscope, probably two, to compensate for the drill torque.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like solar stuff, but it's probably best for this design type of thing for going into the exploration mode.
Right.
Probably best to use a reactor, and then we'll just spawn in uranium and put it in before we like save the blueprint kind of thing.
Okay.
So that way it can just spawn into game worlds and you don't have to worry about is it facing the sun or all that kind of stuff. So we'll need a reactor. Let's go ahead and put a reactor on. But yeah, this is where things get fun, because it's like, do you want the reactor exposed, or to where you can manually put uranium in, or do you want it connected by pipes and then you put it through like a connector and it's not visibly accessible kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Well, under attack, I think it would definitely be useful to keep it kind of hidden, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I usually try and keep all of my gyros and reactors and stuff like that like not exposed on the outside.
Right.
The nice part is, I've been playing survival for a long time, so the nice part is going back to creative is there's no parts. You can just build to your heart's content kind of thing.
Yes, indeed.
So we'll probably need a little bit of a platform. Oh, I know what we're gonna need. Storage. If it's a drilling ship, it's gonna need room to hold stuff.
Ah.
So I forget. Okay, all of the cargo bays are available for small ships. So this, can you see this before I place it?
Nope.
Oh, dang. I wonder if there's a way to change that. Anyways, that's a small cargo. Let me expand this a little bit, so I can just show you what they look like on a small ship. This is a medium, and that's a large cargo.
Okay.
Like chest, like cargo container. So, I'm thinking a large one, at least.
That'd be cool.
I mean, it's a mining ship, right? So you want room.
Its primary function.
Actually, let's put... And this is the other cool part. You don't have to keep this landing gear and all that. Like, if we end up just building a platform out to here, you could say that this is now the new ship, and then we could just disconnect this later.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So this would give us a little bit more room to build out here. So, okay, let's put... Where did it go? There it is. So we want a large cargo... Now, here's another important thing that you'll need to know. The hatches on the cargo containers are important, because there's two different kinds of conveyor tubes. And the bigger ones will allow anything to go through them. The smaller ones only allow a certain dimension item to fit through it.
Gotcha.
So it's like in this case, if you were designing it and you were going to have a connector somewhere that could attach to a station or something and unload the cargo, where would you put it? Would you put it on the top, like that it comes in under the station and attaches, on the back? What would you do for...
I'd probably throw it on the back. Since it's drilling, you want it to be easy access for the person. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. So what I would do then is face the larger... I think that'll work. Let me see where that puts it. Yeah. So that basically keeps the larger compartments facing the front and the back.
Gotcha.
So it'll be easier to make sure all that goes the way it's supposed to. Now, there's a couple of different items for dealing with... Wait, where's the hatch part? There it is. This is a collector. It used to be very useful, but me personally, I found it's not so much anymore. Because what it used to do is you could have ores fly into this, and it would collect it. right?
Uh-huh.
It would dump it into the cargo crate. But there's this newer one. Well, I shouldn't say newer, it's a different one. And this is a connector. The benefit that the connector has is that if you have another one, say, on this station, like to your right there, if you line these up, they'll do the same thing the landing gear does and turn green, and you can lock it in.
Oh, nice.
And then you can just transfer the ores and stuff that way. Now, what I have seen people use is they'll put a collector combined with like some kind of dish on the back, so that when you're drilling, anything that flies off will like fall back into the, like a net, it'll catch it and then fall into the collector. But normally that's if you're doing a large ship and you can put gravity to pull it towards the net.
Gotcha.
So for this one, I don't think we'll worry about that. But so we have a connector here and the cargo. So now what we'll need to do is connect, you want to do 1 or 2 drills? Well, actually, you can actually do a lot more than that, but...
yeah?
You can put pretty much as many as you want. Again, we have the triangle limit to think about.
Right.
But you can put in-game as many of them as you want. The only problem is the more drills you have... That's a drill, by the way. The more drills you have, the problem is it'll make more torque. So you have to have either a bigger ship or more gyroscopes, whatever.
Gotcha.
So normally for a starter driller, I'd say like 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah, let's start with 2.
Okay. So what I'd like to do, and you're kind of my design guy, so let me know what you think. But what I'd like to do is kind of connect them right off the bat. Like connect them and then build the ship around it.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And actually, ooh, I just got an idea. We could put another, maybe not another cargo space. Let's keep it small because I keep forgetting about the triangle.
Yeah, the triangle limit.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. If that was 8,000 that we just did over there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. Okay, so then we put a conveyor. Now the conveyors are kind of similar, in that the way that they work is they allow you to transfer things through these pipes, but they're multi-directional.
Okay.
The conveyor tubes by vanilla standards have the straight one that's here, the conveyor that allows you to branch off, and then they have a curved one like this. Mods, there's other ones, T-junctions and stuff like that, but we don't have those available. Oh, that was the other thing for anyone that wants to do their own build. You can't use mods. It has to be just vanilla. So what I'm trying to do here...
Is our goal to make the front end come out to about here, something like that?
We could. If you want to, then we'll do more with the conveyor tubes before curving then.
Yeah, what's our limit on the triangles again?
80,000 for this. I don't have a...
80,000, okay. So if that was 8,000 there...
Yeah, I'm gonna stick a chair here and just check it. We're at 4,000 right now.
Okay.
This is the triangle chair.
Wow.
You can just just fly over it and hit T when it turns yellow. And it's part of the ship, so you can... Actually, I don't think you need to do that, it's just convenient. Yeah, you can access the hatch over here, any of these little interface pieces. Okay, so you said... Oh, why can't I build on that? You said like out to there, maybe? Or further?
Yeah, a little further, maybe. Probably out to about right here, something like that. Maybe a few more blocks forward. Yeah, something like that.
All right, now this is just my symmetricalness. 12.
Yeah.
Let's do... Okay. We'll see how that goes. That should be fine. Alright, so if that's the length of our ship, we have a couple different options. We could put the drills at the front and put the storage at the front, and then run pipes back to a connector. Or you can put like a bunch of storage crates back here and then run pipes to the front.
That sounds cool. Let's see what it looks like running the pipes from the back to the front.
Back to front. Okay, so in that case, what I want to do is connect this. Because see, okay, here's a good tip for you. If I were to delete this conveyor that's got the T-junction, this long strip would float away.
Oh, gotcha.
It'll now be affected by gravity because it's not...
This little pad back here is keeping everything grounded.
Right, it's like grounded, so it's fine, kind of thing. So I'm attaching it to the crate back there so that now I can delete that and it won't go away. But watch this. If I delete it, this will now float away.
Nice.
So that's something to be mindful of when you're building, is that things don't float away on you.
That could probably become pretty annoying. You know?
Yeah. Now, is this, are you thinking this will be front of the ship, like, where it ends, or is this, like, where you want to stick the cockpit on top or something?
Let's stick the cockpit on top or something like that. Let me think. I guess we could put a couple of drills beside the cockpit. Would that work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also a couple of different ones. These type of cockpits on the station over here don't work on the small ship, the open ones.
Okay.
So you have this one.
Oh, yeah.
And then they recently changed to this one where they took a mod and added it into the vanilla game.
Oh, cool.
Which, I mean, it's hard to beat that one. It's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
So.
You know, maybe we can save that one for the fighter.
Oh, it's actually a fighter cockpit. That's what it's called.
Nice.
So.
I know.
Yeah. See? That's why you're my design guy.
I have the eye.
Got the eye of the tiger. Wait, no, that's not what you meant.
It's the worst. Tiger eye.
Yeah. So,
Also,
were you meaning front on here or on top of this spot?
Yeah, let's go front, like the very front, and kind of have the drills beside it. Have a nice flat design.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. Where is my conveyors? I might have to move it up a little bit just because it's going to get in the way of the conveyor.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So like that. Now, can I put you... Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Like that. Is this floating? No. Haha! I tricked you, game. I win.
Nice.
Alright. So now what we can do is put... And you can feel free, we're on the same faction, I set that up, so you can feel free to place blocks as you want to. You don't have you don't have to be just an observant bystander.
Well, I'm trying to watch and learn. It's my first go around, you know. Let me see here.
Now the only thing that I'm seeing is the...
Oh, now I have access to it. See, earlier I couldn't place a small block. Now I can for some strange reason.
That's weird. The only thing is with the way that this works here, like the design of the drills, we'll have to connect them with something else, if that makes sense.
And we could put the cockpit down below the actual, like, in between the drills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yes.
So we'll keep that drill over there for our reference point.
That actually makes it look kind of aggressive.
It does. It does. What I'm looking for is on the drills. What's the port on the back look like? Okay, the port's a small port. Actually, I didn't think about that. If the port's a small port, we could use the small conveyors. We wouldn't actually need the big one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if that would cut down on anything or not, in terms of triangles or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure it would, right? Like if we resorted to the small thingy?
I honestly have no idea.
So we may even actually, if we put two medium containers together, I think that would probably reduce our triangles.
Actually, I think that would make more, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because you have 2 blocks instead of 1. So we're at 10,000 right now. 10,497. If I delete this... 1,465. So the smaller conveyor tubes are actually smaller in triangles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the containers. Let's test that theory. 10,841. 10,990. So you're alright. It does save a little.
Huh.
Alright. Well, we're about out of time for this episode, so we are going to cut it here and maybe make some adjustments on the conveyor tubes, and then we'll be back and see you guys next time. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and we'll see you then. Peace.